Welcome back to UnAwards 2025.
Yeah.
Part 2 coming at you. We didn't quite get through it all on our bumper episode last week. We had to, as you probably know, because you'll have listened to it. If you've no, get back and listen to it. We had to call a halt to it because John was salivating and getting hungrier and hungrier.
We were
Until
two
he
and a
held the
half hours
card up.
in. 2.5 hours in, man.
We were. So why not make something that's good into 2 episodes? So here we are again. We're going to pick up where we left off. We've had a great bit of feedback on last week's episode as well, the first part of UnAwards 2025. Good to see it's landed well with the listeners at this time of year.
Most definitely, yeah. It's all good.
And what we're going to... Yeah, sorry, go for it. I was cutting in you, just like I always do.
No, it's cool, man. I was just going to say, I think that the feedback's been brilliant, and folk have been feeding back saying that they've loved it, they've been laughing at it, but some folk, because it's 2.5 hours, some folk is doing them 2 10Ks or whatever that is, the long training run, something like that. So it's brilliant. I love it, and it's folk have also commented that it's great to hear other people's views and perception on things. So thank you very much to everybody who submitted an entry.
Absolutely, thank you so much again. And the categories that we've still to cover include one of our faves for last year, running rants. We'll get to that first. Then we're going to you've all been lashing your dialect dictionary words at us, so we're going to take a wee scan through them, and then of course a look at the 2025 Good Cunt of the Year. You say it quick, it doesn't sound rude.
Exactly that. The Champagne Supernova Award.
We do.
We'll
do that. We'll do that last. So we're going to just get right into it, and the running rants. What pisses you off? Let us ken.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'll let
John,
you start, Stephen.
Oh, you're going to let me start? Okay,
Yep.
I've got one, and it'll be, I'm sure, a familiar one for listeners. It's from Lorna Davenport, and it's men who come up behind you on a trail race and bellow, "Come on, girls." It's just a bit of mud, and overtake and continue referring to you as girls each time you repass them and they repass you. As we're 55 years old, so I'm thinking that we're not speaking of a collective here, it just feels like patronising patriarchy. However, Lorna says, she goes on, however, she had the last laugh when we passed him for the final time, and he said, "Oh, I didn't think it would be such a tough race." And I replied, "Just a mile to go," knowing full well it was less than half that distance, and we still had a sprint finish left in us. So, come on, boy.
Yeah, I love when somebody comes in with a however. I do love that. And there's also a term that gets used, and I wasn't quite sure if it would be inflammatory or not. The term I'm talking about is people who get checked. You know, and I wasn't quite sure, but I think women own that phrase, don't they? They own it, and so getting checked is a thing. So it sounds like Lorna's been doing a bit of chicken. She's
Yes.
been doing it. So power to you, power to the women, power to the
Try to
people.
work out what race it is as well. It sounds pretty good fun.
Aye, exactly. And hopefully, said gent has learned a bit of lesson, a wee bit of humble pie, and we'll be a wee bit more kind to all runners next time. He's probably one of these folk that doesn't say hello to folk either. So, Mark Gallagher, I'm all for running being open to all, but I hate, strong words, Mark, I hate the groups that are sprung up, run by muscle men that take their squads to the track, don't teach the groups track etiquette, and have them walking in lanes 1 to 6 with their headphones on while people are doing reps, standing taking selfies in lane 1 and 2 at the finish line when folk are sprinting towards them. I've seen collisions because they don't know what it is going on around them. Leave the inside lanes for people doing reps and read the rules of the track before you go on. So there are rules of the track. I was not aware of said rules. I very often see Mark posting videos from the Emirates or wherever he is, and these guys are flying doing that inside lane because they're there meaning business. But so I think it's only fair though. Be aware, read the track, be aware of your surroundings. You know, so that's a fair rant, and I like it.
Muscle men.
Muscle men.
Muscle men. Maybe more on them. Maybe more on them later.
Maybe a wee bit, yeah. Okay.
And for everybody else who's going to the track, especially if Mark's going to be at it, make sure you know the etiquette.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you too could feature on a running rant next year.
And if you're not sure, ask what the etiquette is, you know?
If you can catch them.
Or do what I do, go early in the morning when there's nobody else there.
That's the trick. And then, well, Jerry Healy, who also voted this particular event that he's away to hear a rant about as his event of the year, the Berlin Marathon. He says, brittle wee cups rather than plastic bottles or even paper cups. It was like being waterboarded at every drink station. I heard they use the water mains to fill the cups as it's more environmentally friendly. But there must be a better solution, lads.
Oh, so he's bringing us in. I agree with Jerry. I like, and I've seen them, they get used at ARF. The wee sports bottles, you know, flip the lid, hey, a drink, put the lid back on, carry it with you, you know. So, and I personally have never mastered the art of taking said brittle vessel. The only thing that happens is, as Jerry says, I just lash it all about me. Very rarely does it go in my mouth where it's meant to go. And that also, and Jerry's a fast runner, that also leads you to, well, what are you going to do then? The next aid station or checkpoint, are you going to stop? You're not wanting to stop if you're moving fast and aiming for a time. So I'm fully on board with Jerry. That one.
Berlin Marathon organisers, I hope you're listening. Your brittle wee cups aren't cutting the mustard. However, they're environmentally friendly.
I'm also not sure about some cities. It depends how delicate your tummy is as well. Sometimes drinking tap water in a different country, culture, can upset your tummy as well. Whereas a bottle of bottled water should be okay for everybody. So
good point, John.
Yeah,
point.
On the waterfront, simple minds on the waterfront. Andy Denali. Events running out of water. We've been there before, spoke about that. And also medals for us slower runners. So I think what Andy's going for here is that events, people at the back of the pack, we've heard about this before, especially on hot days, when they get to, we'll go with the marathon, if it's a marathon, you get to mile 20 and there's no water left, you know, and then you get over the finish line, we'll post your medal out to you. We've not got any medals here. So they're then going to order more and we didn't like that. We didn't like that at all. So another good rant from Andy.
Definitely. We didn't like that. Have enough water for everybody. Over order water. Like the Liwas Day, something else. But it's a bit of a danger trying to cut it fine. So there is our sage advice to race organisers.
Especially with temperature changes. You know?
Exactly. And you can actually, there's things called weather forecasts. So you can predict what the weather's going to be, even in the week up to the event. So it's like, it's going to be hot. We maybe need to get a wee bit of more H2O on the stations.
And I think we're well
make it sound awfully easy,
Yeah. But it should be, man. But we're also well quoted, I think, on our thoughts on medals and races running out of medals. You know, so
medals, just big size t-shirts left that are completely useless. That's key.
Yeah, that's the technical term we were searching for.
That is key. Yes. So this is a simpler one for Tam Gray, and it's one that was a repeat offender last year. So let's just get it in for the first time this year. Non-waivers and folks non-acknowledgement.
Okay, yeah. And we touched on this last week when the one that was next up for me, Doogie Portis, had said, people no saying hello to your fellow runners, a wee nod or a wave. So we did mention that last week as a sort of teaser for running rants. But we also said last week that the person that you're expecting a wave or a nod from might just be at the end of a very tough session, you know. So let's cut folk a wee bit grace. Be kind to folk.
Aye, let's be kind. But he says even a nod's fine. Even eye contact's sometimes enough.
Yeah, you can speak with your eyes, man.
Just
Most definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
look at me, I'm suffering. I mean, when I'm on a long run, I put a wee notice on my back, so when they turn round and are starting to call me, who's that prick? No waving or anything. It says I'm at the end of a long run.
Aye. Tough
So
shift.
tough shift, so that I can, you know, people. But I think even at the end of a long run, I give folk a grunt.
Aye, exactly.
A grunt. Right.
Yeah, that's all it takes. So if you're the person that you've realised that you've not acknowledged somebody,
Mhm.
be a double acknowledgement next time. Go and make somebody's day. Alison Downey talks about something that's maybe quite new to running rants, packaging that's impossible to open on the move. So you're out running, again, you're maybe doing a training run, or it might be in the actual event you've been training for, and you're desperate to get something in your mouth, some energy in, and then that packaging just when you open, then you've got to, because you train with your stuff, don't you? And then, so when it comes to race day, you're not even thinking about it. It's like rip it open, get it in, move on.
Yep.
Alison's went a bit further. She's in brackets. She's got, I'm looking at you, Voom bars.
Ooh.
So maybe the Voom bar wrappers need to be
Right.
the team need to be looking at how easily accessible they are, because you end up getting really frustrated with it and just bursting it in half and ripping it open.
Yeah, and
You know?
there's some things that you can take out in advance and maybe put in like put them in a Ziploc or something like that. Do you know what I mean? To
Yep.
make it easier. But Voom bars aren't one of those things because they're like almost like, if I'm right in thinking, they're like Turkish delight.
They're a wee bit more solid than that,
Brittle.
but that's a good shout, man. That's a good shout. So if you're going to do something, control the controllables. Eh?
Exactly. Yep. We've a
Yeah,
solution for every problem, but so have Voom.
most definitely.
We'll
Most
tag them.
definitely.
We'll tag
Yeah.
them. Okay.
hmm
PETA.
Peter.
Last year, it was feckin' running crews taking up the whole bloody pavement.
hmm
And this year, and this is the first shout out for our canine friends, this year it has to be feckin' dog walkers, right?
Yeah.
Not the dogs, but the humans.
Oh yeah.
Important.
Yeah.
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 They can all get to France. Like, why shout abuse at me when I'm trying to be considerate and crossing the road and stepping off a pavement so as not to give your dog a flag? And then all they do is give me feckin' verbals, also folk whinging about, I have to go and run. That's a separate thing entirely, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Getting here a moan because, for feck's sake, I still hate to run. As we're going,
Mm.
actually, I'm lucky that I can run. That's what I take that one as.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's dissect that, John. Doug's on pavements, you move onto the road so that they didn't get a flag. Despite even doing that, the owner still gives you a verbal volley for being there.
I think in that instance, I must confirm my thoughts on this. It's not the dog; it is the owner, 100%. I would feel vindicated in the turning said verbal volley if I had to do that. I wouldn't want to get in a fracas. Wouldn't want to do that.
No,
But I
I would.
understand that. Yes, I understand the running rant though, because it gets your dander up. It rips your knitting. You know.
It does.
So
It does,
yeah.
especially if there's no much places to get out of the path or pavement. Do you know, there's no much
Yeah.
wriggle room, and you're
Mm.
thinking you're doing them a favour, and then you still get. Sometimes it's just evils. Shoot
Yeah.
you an
Yeah.
evil.
And you and I have both ran on the North Inch. It's probably where I do most of my running, actually. And it's a big space. The path is wide enough, but it's a big space. But somebody can make that space much smaller on purpose, and you know they're doing it. And if you're doing laps of the North Inch, you're going to get 2 or 3 opportunities to happen across these people. So it's it's a bit.
I would say that the only an excuse, here we go. If you're coming from the behind them, they've got a dog on a stretch, one of those extendable leads. They've not got eyes in the back of their head. So that's when they'll all cough or coming through or
scuff your shoe, something, make a noise, a
big groch.
Yeah.
One of them.
Give them a fright of their life.
Hopefully you captured that audio well.
Yeah. So, but I think this running rant will continue infinitely. Yeah.
It will. Yes. Well, can I just do my next few as well, because they're all related? I've got right. I've got Craig Stokes, folk that aren't aware of their surroundings, Dougs that aren't on leads, but they should be. Okay. And Angela Steed, one word, Dougs, where are you?
Okay, cool.
In fact, everybody's calling it Dougs, where are you?
Aye, Dougs, aye. Well, I've got Martin James, got Dougs barking as you run past them. So, but you may get a right fright of that. Some Dougs bark loud, and sometimes you're by them, and the bark comes, and you're not quite sure what's happening behind you. So, yeah, there's quite a few votes for Dougs. Dave Hutchison, running influencers / coaches in inverted commas, and the focus on Strava time rather than chip time during races. It undermines credibility and puts too much onus on times rather than experience. So again, that's something I think we spoke about briefly, maybe at length last week. It's a contentious one, isn't it? Strava time or chip time. We spoke about this. I didn't stop my watch. If I stop for a pee, that's part of my run. It's just what happens. Other people will choose to stop their watch, but they get hung up by traffic lights or whatever. So
which is fine on a training run, but Dave says chip time, which suggests it's in race condition.
It's a race.
So that's entirely different. You're no ever stopping your watch when you're under starter's orders.
No, you got a bib on, you're going for it.
Yep, yeah. Can I do that? Elapsed time wankers, I call this type of person as well. Yeah,
I think Dave would agree with that. Yeah,
and there is a lot of elapsed time wanker detectives out there catching you on Strava. So if you do that, it'll be clocked.
Aye.
One of your pals will be going, hey, there he is. What a fanny.
And then what they'll do, that'll be the first thing they check about your run.
Exactly. And then they'll screenshot it and they'll put it on your WhatsApp group and say,
this sounds like this has happened.
Don't for a pish. Just to belittle you.
And I'm going to use my own name. Somebody will be saying, that was some run John had, man. That was fast for him, eh? And then somebody from the back of the room will shout, what's his elapsed time though?
Aye. Marathon PB. Elapsed time 8 hours 22 minutes.
You ken who I am. I'm flaming hot. That's this contributor's title. And he's went, the running rant is other shite running podcasts. All of them. There's no point MD else having a go. They just can't stand up to the YHRF. Thank you, flaming hot. Feeling the love.
That's a nice wee kiss ass. I love it. I love it. The YHRF makes us sound harder than we are today, doesn't it?
Like a gang.
It makes us sound like a pack.
A pair of pack.
Yeah. Football casuals. Got your Stone Island stuff on it. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Flaming Hot. Mark Bromwich is up next, and he wants to call out people posting on social media thanking companies sending the stuff to them as if they were giving it for free when they've actually paid for it. So this isn't folk getting stuff for free for companies for romancing them. This is actually folk buying stuff and then putting it on social media and bigging themselves up that they've got this item. And he just says, fannies, of course they're going to send you it. You paid for it.
That
So it's
beggars
like,
belief
thanks.
to me.
I know it does, eh?
But yeah, well, Mark's obviously aware of some of this stuff that's going on. So I thought he was talking about runfluencers there. So I think that's what he's alluding to.
Aye.
People, yeah.
People who aren't quite at the level of runfluencing that they've started getting free stuff, so they're actually still just buying stuff and almost giving the impression that they've got it sent to them for hee-haw.
Dearie me, dearie me.
Did you see this package that arrived for me today, actually, John? Boom bars.
Boom bar ticker tape going across the screen right now. Oh, sorry, another Duggan. John Spears. Twats who let their dogs jump on me. I've got 2 dogs. This is John. I've got 2 dogs and I love dogs, but it pisses me right off when knobbers don't control their pets. I blame the owners, though, never the dogs. As we've said before, fully on board with that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And just a word for our listeners, we haven't actually started Dialect Dictionary yet, but we've had more dialect dictionaries in the it very much brings out your local dialect, doesn't it? By posting a running rant. People who didn't swear are all of a sudden turned into, swearers, etc., etc. Christian Cooksies. Next up, Christian is a mank who has lived in Glasgow, Ayr, the Isle of Lewis, and now Inverness. So his running rant is fucking drivers on single track roads. Okay, not just normal drivers, fucking drivers. Right? And because he lived in the Western Isles for 8 years, he's been knocked off the road twice by camper vans. One was a German. I'm not going there.
Nope.
Right. And the second was from the UK. Neither stopped to check in on him. The second, the German van bashed right into the ditch. Point is, learn to use feckin' passing places. Yes. He's actually bleeped out the next word, so he's realised by now there's only a passing place every few hundred yards. Learn to use them, you dicks.
You must be a right good shidder on him if he's putting a bloody camper van in a ditch.
The fridge.
Boom. That's a good end. That's a good end, though. Brilliant. Jennifer Wenton. Cars that stop to let me cross the road once I've already stopped and paused my gardening. No need for us both to stop. Either slow down well in advance or keep going since I've clearly already stopped. I will stand there pretending I've not noticed you. You've stopped until you give up and move on. It's almost like a standoff. Nobody's moving. It's a standoff, So, yeah, we all share the road. We all share that area outside. So let's be kind to each other.
2 things on that. I totally get it. First thing is, when that happens to me and I eventually go, that's when I slap bonnets.
Yes.
As we know. Second, as soon as you've pressed pause at that road crossing, your elapsed time detective is onto you.
There's lots going on, man. There's lots going on.
So aye, and that makes it even more frustrating because you think to yourself, shite, that errors on my WhatsApp group, I'll put in that my run was 18 seconds longer than I was actually running for, and that I'll try and belittle me a wee bit.
And you're standing there and the rage is building. Hence the slapping of the bonnet. Yeah.
Oh man, cars, dogs. Okay, Bozza Ritchie, Edinburgh tourists. There's too many of them. Good for the economy. However, they don't look when crossing roads. They wander about like it's their own place. And they've invaded my favourite running spot, Arthur's Seat. And do they stick to the tourist path? No chance. They're all over the trails like midges in July, so you escape to the Pentlands for some peace. And what happens? They stop you mid-run to ask if you've seen the coos. Yes, seen the coos. Then you clock their footwear, white canvas trainers, white on wet, muddy trails. And yes, I send them up towards Allermuir with a smile, knowing those trainers will never be the same again. Loaded with stuff there. Rob.
I've been at Arthur's Seat, and these days, I've been at Arthur's Seat many times over the years, but these days, there's a queue to get to that trig point at the top.
Like Hillary's Step.
Yes, there's a queue to get there, and folks stop to get their photograph, and folk are getting irate because it can be windy up there as well. But I love the fact that Rob has sussed out a wee game he can play with folk up the Pentlands as well. I like that.
Is there muscle men up there, do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
It's bloody
Bound to
muscle
be.
men.
Bound to be. John McCluskey, this actually falls in a wee gap for last week. John, he used the word guided. So, but what John's running rant is, as a VI guide, so he's helping somebody to do part runs and stuff. When faster part runners scream, keep left, even though two of us are side by side. So he's a guided runner helping somebody with maybe a visual impairment, so that they can knock a second off their time whilst coming in 37th fannies. So there's a wee bit of a very well deserved rant in there. I mean, every guided runner I've seen wears a bib with a colour. It's neon, it's pink, or it's yellow, or it's green, whatever. So it's quite obvious, and you would never think, or I would never think about bursting past somebody and screaming at them just so you can. Mind you, maybe I'll never be 37th in a part run anyway. But yeah, it's a very good one, very good one. And thank you very much, John McCluskey, for being a guided runner. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Yep.
My next one is a repeat of one of mine, actually, which was drivers. Sorry, as we know them round this part, fucking drivers. Yeah. No dipping their full beam when they meet runners on the road.
Stevie boy.
I find if you look up directly at them, it often makes them dip, or I'll get a full beam fitted to my head torch. I know what Kevin's saying there. So as they're coming at you and your retinas are burning for the full beam of their car, you do the same back to them with your head torch basically on full whack. And then you almost direct it right into the drivers. But the worry there is then that they lose control of the car.
Exactly.
Right, so you're maybe playing a dangerous game there, Kevin. But I do know what you mean. It's almost like hearing again a high beam standoff. Part for their wagons and that are a bit bigger than us. Unless you're sitting Cooksey, you're going to come out and no way a car in a ditch.
I do like all this conflict, man. I do like all this. But anyway,
right, okay.
I get it. Graham Johnston, he says, I don't know. There are plenty of things I could find to moan about in the world generally, but I guess that's why I love running so much. Usually everything seems pretty well with the world when you're hitting your flow. When you're hitting your flow state on the trails, even if it's chucking it down and I'm ankle deep in dog shite, I'm generally still smiling. Thank you very much, Graham. Thank you.
It's a good point. We'll hear a new category next year for your perfect moments when running. The complete polar opposite of running rant.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
The language won't be near as fruity though. Stephen Burrell's up next. He must be getting fairly chilled out in his old age because he can't really think it. And maybe it's folk that when he run through puddles, then swerving right into your running line just to avoid getting their feet wet.
Yeah, that annoys me as well, man.
It's through the puddles. The only worry is there sometimes can be a puddle that's deceptively deeper than you think.
All right, the Vicar of Dibley puddle.
And you're down there. You're all of a sudden you're waist deep in water. So That's the only thing. But yeah, you do, especially when you see people early on, maybe in a race, avoiding puddles, ken and find there's no avoiding them on the actual route.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just like, just get through them now because you're going to get your feet wet eventually.
Well, a personal experience that we both shared was when we done the lap. 2024 was that? We did a
Yes,
lap. You know,
yeah,
it was a really, really wet day,
was.
and there was folk skirting around puddles on fire track. You could tell how deep it was, you
Yes.
know. So that
That
was
was the
that.
classic example, I think, that,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I'd witnessed, the people kind of trying to avoid puddles. And I'm going, what is the point here? Your feet are already sodding through.
And it's
But
going to be like this all day.
it's
Yeah,
maybe just a, you know,
yeah.
the way that your brain's wired up type thing. So cut them some
Aye,
slack.
definitely. Stevie McKenna, 100 kilograms to 100 kilometers. This one might be unpopular. That's why we're here, Stevie.
Mhm.
That's why we're here.
What
But
opinion?
it's the influx of the High Rocks brothers
Oh,
that are seeping into the running scene. I'm all for people stepping up and trying their first ultra, but do you really need to be shouting, swearing as you're crossing the finish line, telling everyone how fucking easy that was and how you smashed the shit out of it, overtaking everybody who walked up a hill? That sort of energy might be appropriate for your ridiculously overpriced circuit classes, but it feels jarringly out of place at the finish line of a race. It happened at a couple of events I was at this year, and I could see I wasn't the only one that was getting rubbed up the wrong way. By all means, get involved, but tone it down a little and support everyone crossing the line, no matter if they're hours in front or hours behind you. We're all in it together. The influx of the bare-chested High Rocks brothers, Stevie Pye.
we're a club open to all, John.
100% we are.
Yeah.
100% we are. But I
So
think we've experienced this. We've experienced this. It, and I think it's one of the things that Mark Gallagher was speaking about as well at running tracks.
yeah,
There has been quite an influx of
definitely.
volume of people who are
But
training for the High Rocks event. You know?
yeah, but then there's also a thing where the High Rocks world does seep into,
Yeah.
coming along and signing up for events and boosting numbers at events and things like that. So it's no all bad,
No, no.
in terms of that. It's just that there's a different almost culture around about High Rocks, isn't there? There's almost that, like you say, taps off,
Yeah.
and it would be like if I went to a High Rocks event. Do not think that is an offer. Just see
Shite
if
bag if you didn't.
no. Right? I don't think they've got a filter good enough to make me look decent with my tap off. Right? But it would be, I'd get it all wrong. I'd go, what's the culture around here?
Yeah.
But I
What's the
think I'd maybe hate
etiquette?
to go to like 5 or 6 High Rocks as a spectator to get into the swing of things.
I've
Martin Butcher
noticed.
could maybe tell us.
Well, I was just going to say that we've had previous guest friend of the show, Martin Butcher, who's went the other way from
Legend.
absolutely fantastic runner, but he's now got a massive interest and a love for High Rocks, doing it with his
And but
pals.
but that's no deterred them from being a fantastic runner still.
No, no,
You know what
no.
I mean?
He's still doing that. So you can go that way as well. I have noticed at the backyard ultras as well in the Highlander event last year, there was a lot of young guys starting with the taps off, but that was them. It's almost like that's their tribe, and I'm all for that as well.
Ah,
Previous guest, friend of the show, Scott Brown,
mm,
come on and spoke about his Double West Highland Way FKT. Scott runs a gym, and a big part of Scott's business is about High Rocks. So there's a place
yeah,
for everybody. We've always got to find that balance, haven't we? So
yes. Although I do appreciate what Stevie was saying in his running rant, to be honest, as well. You do get a wee bit of simmer down,
aye, yeah, get it. Yeah,
simmer down. Is it on me, John?
it is you, it is you.
Joey McGill. Here's a classic. Folk who don't appreciate volunteers, whether that's on the spine or at your local park run. These people give up their time to help and support runners. Don't be rude to them on the course or at checkpoints. Without them, there'd be no events. It costs hee haw or sorry, nothing, as Gillian says, to be polite and say thank you. That's a reminder for us all.
I could not argue with that. We're advocates of that. I think at the Auchterarder Running Festival events, we're very encouraging of people to say thank you to marshals and to volunteers, because it wouldn't, as Gillian has said, it wouldn't happen without them. So yeah, 100% on board. From one spine finisher to another, Mel Sykes. Races not offering deferrals. That's it. That's all she said.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
I think entering some races can cost a lot of money, and it can be maybe not your fault. You might be injured. There might be any number of reasons that you cannot take part in that event. So, I've entered some races, and I've just thought, well, I can't make it. But I must admit, the races that I've done and no bother chasing any money up about has been, there maybe been 15 quid, 20 quid, something like that. And I'm quite willing to just write that off. It's not the same for everybody, I get that. But if it was 100, 200, 500 pound,
Yeah.
I would be looking for either some of my money back or defer it for a year or two. So I get where
I
Mel's
think
coming from.
and when it's something like that, and the organizer could potentially resell that space
Mhm.
and then profit from that
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
That's brings a whole different. So there's layers there, and
Yeah, yeah.
Mel's run and rant was quite simple races that didn't offer.
Yeah, there's more to it.
Yeah. Okay, Rich Taylor. Shite prizes at overpriced races. It seems the more expensive the race, the shitier the prize. You can do a grassroots race like the Fling and get bags full of goodies and treated like a king, but big events, companies that give you a bag of useless pamphlets, a 5% discount at some sports clinic 150 miles away, throw in a packet of crisps and a Freddo, and they think that's enough. So basically, is that disproportionate to the size of the event, the scale of the event, and the money that you've paid to get in that event? I think that's what's ripping my knitting.
Yeah.
Not
Sorry,
mine, Rich's.
Rich's. I'm still thinking about Fredo when you mentioned Fredo. But I
Oh.
get it. I get it. But we get the bags. You get your wee bag or whatever it is, and there's like 10 pamphlets in it for future races or some herbal medicine place up the road and all that sort of stuff. So I'm totally on board, which is bad for the environment as well, doing all that stuff. So I get it. I get it. Alan Murray, president of Carnegie Harriers. There's a list. 1, runners in the wrong start pen. It's infuriating. Starting on a pen that's clearly too fast helps no one. Slow runners just get stressed or blow up early, while faster runners are stuck, weaving, braking, and dealing with congestion. It causes tailbacks, breaks pacing groups, and makes the open miles messy and unsafe. There's zero upside. Starting too far forward does not make you faster. It makes you everybody else's obstacle. Be honest, seed yourself properly, and let the race flow. Starting where you belong is basic race etiquette. I'll pause there and let you think about that. Your thoughts on that, Stephen? People being in the wrong pen, or slower runners being in a pen that's too far up the field.
Yeah, so overestimating their finish time.
Yeah.
And then becoming that, like he says, that obstacle. However, like I'm going to view this through a totally different lens, right? What if you purposely put yourself on a faster pen because that pen gets away quicker and you want to get to the boozer as quick as possible to meet your pals?
Aye. Well, you must have a reason for going up.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is, you didn't give a fuck about being the obstacle. You're mere prioritising getting
Get
your
this
first
run
pint
done.
as early as possible.
Aye. Scotland's playing at 5 o'clock.
I've got a bus to catch, I've got a train to catch, I've got a plane to catch. But you didn't say, right, I'm a 4-hour marathon runner, so I'm going to go in I'll put my estimated finish time 2:59.
Aye. No, you're dead on.
Personally speaking, yeah.
The second part of Alan's
Part
rant, We've been here before. Aid stations free for all. At aid stations, don't stop dead. Don't cut across three lanes of runners, and don't drop cups, fruit, bottle, gels right under another racer's feet. There are people racing behind you. Take your drink, gel, fruit, keep moving, drift to the side if you need to slow down. Bin your cup, gel wrapper, bottle, then rejoin smoothly. A little awareness turns chaos into flow. And, pardon me, and saves everybody from tripping over a selfish runner, soggy paper cup, or plastic bottle at mile 18. End of rants. We discussed this about people stopping at tables
Yeah,
in marathons, just stopping dead in their
yeah,
tracks, and then that tailback happens.
definitely. I think the worst, maybe it's just because it's the most recent marathon I've done at this point, is Tokyo. But it was really, really bad at Tokyo. Folk just coming to a complete
Yeah.
stop. No, kind like slowing down and kind deliberately taking a cup or anything like that, but just stopping dead. Like what? And you're behind them, and all of a sudden you're basically straddling them.
Because you've got
Yeah.
nowhere to go.
Well, you're basically riding them.
Well, that's it.
I'm like
Saddle up
that.
and ride that pony, baby.
Yahoo! Take me on the road. So yeah, it is. It is definitely the case.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you very much for your contributions, Alan.
Gaz, Runny Rick, run face.
Yes.
He says again. So I'm thinking this was the same as last year. People taking spots in races that they have no business being in. Want me to go on?
Yeah.
Not serving their dues, so to speak, then also not training and giving the race the respect it deserves. I.e., do you want me to name the races?
I think we
Oh,
should, yeah. Yeah.
Lakeland, West Highland Way race, etc., etc. So it's basically been, I'm putting in for the ballot. Boom, got a space. Oh, shite.
Mm.
Actually, I didn't hear any many much intentions of actually ever carrying this through and doing the actual graft and the training, and then you get nearer the race day and you go, "Hey, get in touch with the organizer. Fucking, I'm a celebrity. Get me out of there." Or you
Mm.
just didn't turn up at the start line, and you're denying somebody who would have done the
Yeah.
endeavour, the graft, the
Yeah.
emotional attachment, and then that's what I'm reading Gaz's running
Yeah.
rant.
And I think we spoke to Mark Lathwaite, and
Yeah,
he was talking about people paying their dues,
yeah.
and respecting the course and getting recce's done, and so yeah, I'm totally on board with that. I just love when you hear Gareth's name, you just know there's going to everything's a rant that comes from Gareth. It's brilliant. But he does it in
Well,
a very good way.
a
He does
rant
it in
or
a,
a wind up.
yeah.
It's a rant or a wind up.
Gordon Brown, similar to Stevie from the podcast, running at this time of year on pavements next to roads when it's wet in a car doesn't slow down or avoid puddles, resulting in an unwanted shower. Absolute cunts is how Gordon describes them, and I wholeheartedly agree.
That fucking drivers.
Yes, it is.
Now they're
Yes.
absolute cunts. Tell you what, this ain't gonna be censored. I think, John.
Yes, I think so.
I know
Explicit.
I'm looking through the next thing. All I can see now is like fucking and cunts and everything all jumping out at me in the rants. So
Maybe we've
um,
encouraged this.
yes, Rachel Bissett, dog shit on the riverside in Dundee. That's just a
Oh, yeah.
general rant, but it must be one that is affected by
Mm,
when she's running there. And a repeat offender, people claiming Strava time at races instead of chip time. The course is measured for a reason. That's like, I did the marathon and it was 26.5 miles when I crossed the finish line on my watch, but I actually ran through marathon distance 4 minutes before then.
mm,
So I'm going to use that as my marathon PB.
yes. We're back to that thing we spoke about earlier. Strava time, chip time, all that sort of stuff. Colin for Stirling.
Mm-hmm.
Easy runs. If your heart rate is at 10k equivalent and it's not an easy run, for fuck's sake, tag it, blowing out my hoop, and just be honest. That's it.
And Colin is very honest on his old Strava titles. So
Yeah.
he's more honest than he even needs to be, but probably as a to try and be the opposite
Yes, a trailblazer. I
So
love them.
didn't stop doing that. Didn't stop doing that. And aye, it's easy run, chatty run. You look at the heart rate and it's like 190. We're on to you. We're on to you. And if we're not on to you, elapsed time detectives will be on to you. That's the type of thing
Oh
that they look
yeah,
at and oh, they're the same. They are cut of the same cloth.
and they've probably got their own separate WhatsApp chat that you're no member of, and they're all talking about you in the other chat. Have you seen what he's done there? So think on.
Check him thinking that he's got that. We see him. I see him. I watched his run in real time on some playback thing on Strava, and you seen that clearly he stopped, went into the bushes, done whatever he was doing in the bushes, come back out again, 4.5 minutes later, went going again. Now he's trying to say that he's got that. He didn't get the segment. He didn't get the segment because he did it in that segment, and you can see he's taking 30 minutes to do that segment, and he's saying that he's only taking 9 minutes to do that segment. They're on to you. We're on to you. I'm on to you. Folk will be on to me.
It's going to be a whole new thing for 2026.
Oh,
Folk getting right into the data and Strava.
oh, I'm pretty sure it's not a new thing for 2026. Charlie King, just cunts that pause their watches.
Yeah, I'm with them.
It gets to me, man.
Yeah, this maybe brings in every swear word we've had so far in a winner.
Right.
Clear withers, cunts in big flash fucking cars who cannot manage to give me space when running in dark roads with a head torch. Am I fucking invisible to you, you posh fucker? Also, these cunts cannot park in the lines of a space in the gym car park. Cue me parking so close to their door so they cannot get out or into their car. Cunts. So Claire's taken this literally to have a rant. She's ranting about these things, and I love it. This is the platform where you can come with this type of information. So she's covered a couple of things. She's covered the things about the head torch thing and the dark roads. But it's about us making ourselves as visible as we can to the people. But also, she's brought in a new thing about people who can't park in the lines of a space.
What's that
She's
going
saying
to
a
do with
gym
running?
car park, but any car park.
What's that going to do with a running run?
She's just opened the door. She's
She's
obviously
triggered.
she's obviously
She's been
putting the thing
triggered.
about the head torch and thought, Ken, what? See while I'm here. These are the same folk that drive the big motors that can't park at the
Maybe
gym.
next year we just hear it as like rants.
Rants.
We just drop running, and it's just a good chance for you to blow off steam and just get it off your chest, whatever it may be.
Here to help you. Here to help
Huh?
you. But thank you, Claire. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Claire. Nick Jones, still and always will be time pace obsessed wankers. It's never going to change. Nick, we hear you.
Howard Wharton. Unfriendly runners, either on a race or otherwise. I think Tam Gray alluded to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
People who are they seem unfriendly, maybe they're not even getting back to you. But thank you, Howard.
Yeah, yeah. And Fiona Ainsley, actually, when folk don't acknowledge you when running. So, another one in that camp. And Bob Barron, because I skipped by him.
Okay.
The fucking expense of running.
Oh well, from the same neck of the woods, I've got Paul Anderson. Price of trainers. All you need is a pair of running shoes. They tell you at the start, eh? You know.
That's it. Cheapest sport on the planet.
Aye, and also, I knew I'd get this in. Karen Much, who types the same way she talks. So give me a wee minute, right? When folk ask your time, pace, etc., fuck off and just run. So Karen's all about just that. Listen, we're all here to do the same thing. Go and have a good time. Ask me if I enjoyed myself, know how fast I was. So thank you, Karen.
Absolutely. And the last running rant, I think, unless you've got a secret in.
Oh, on you go, man. Oh no, I think you're right. This is the last one. Yep.
Kenny McManus. And we're no dropping the swear words. Influencers. Fucking roasters turning up without the proper training.
Yeah. A along the same lines as what Gareth was saying, isn't it?
I don't know. To me, Gareth Gaz McRunny face that's no influencers he's talking about. He's talking about almost like time wasters, folk who are
Okay.
never. Whereas what Kenny's saying is influencers, Ken, folk who we can all see if we're on some social media that maybe think that they're better than they are.
Yes.
Kenny, feel free to clarify what it is you mean, but
Come on in.
that runes off Running Rants 2025. Some new ends, some repeat ends.
But it's been good. Love that. Love that. Now, new for 2026. The listeners' dialect dictionary entries. Shall we swip this round?
Let's do that.
Yeah. So, Lorna Davenport, skedaddle is her dialect dictionary. I say it to my class of 9-year-olds as they leave and they like it. I've just Googled it and apparently it's also a running shop in Fochabers. But a skedaddle. I think you've done the tartan skedaddle, Stevie boy.
I did the great tartan skedaddle.
Okay.
In, God, I want to say like 2016.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was Inversnaid to Callander on the Great Trossack Path, which is now sadly no more that race. But it was a good wee route. And it was I can't think what happened to it, but it fell by the wayside. You were there to see me over the finish line. You missed a football match for that. That sticks in my head.
I certainly did, man. I certainly did, because I knew you were running it. It was a good old chunky course. It was hilly.
It was.
Yeah.
A great course. Great course. And it's actually a good point-to-point run today for anybody thinking that needing a wee change up for a training route.
Yeah. So, but skedaddle goes fleeing in to the dialect dictionary. Thank you, Lorna.
As does Lee Campbell's entry of pootle. As in a slow, nice, relaxed, chatty, easy run. I'm away for a pootle in the hills. I love different words for describing running.
I was just going to think there. I thought about Damien Hall, but he goes for a bimble, doesn't he?
A bimble, yeah, so a bimble.
Lee's going for a pootle.
Similar to a bimble, I think, but a pootle.
Okay. Tam Gray has come up with something smelly, and he calls it poof gads. You take your trainers off, have a sniff, and they say, "Ooh, poof gads, they stink." So it's a saying in Tam's bit, dialect dictionary, poof gads.
Tam's bit Edinburgh.
Originally Edinburgh, but now he's in Oakbank. So,
that is a heady cocktail. It
definitely is. Yeah.
As is the smell coming out the trainers. Mark Gallagher has got the Jimmy Cranky, and that is a run that is short and easy. And he puts in brackets, just for context, you have, of course, heard the stories about the Crankies being swingers.
Oh, well, we can neither confirm nor deny if we've heard that, Mark.
I'm just reading what's on the submission, but there you go.
Rachel McPherson, Corey Ducat. Context. I fucked my back because I was sitting on Corey Ducat. Google suggests it's slang for left-handed, but it can be used to describe something wonky or squint. So you can be sitting on Corey Ducat.
Like dishevelled.
Aye, someone's off centre. Out of kilter. You're Corey Ducat. Aye.
God, I like that.
So do I. Straight in.
Ducat. Definitely in. Andy Denali is claret, as in like the colour clarets, spelt like that. Okay. But it's used in Sunderland for a muddy feh.
Okay.
Claret, like clarty almost, getting into, I think, clarty, but claret. So a wee derivative.
Okay. Peter is coming on the back of Tam Gray's thing, but she's using a word I've heard before, and I'm sure you've heard it, Stephen. Fusty. Wow. My running clays are smelling a wee bit fusty. So, thank you very much, Peter. And we've all been there. I've got a top the new. I did the Markathon, Stevie boy. Right?
Oh, I saw that.
For 31 days, I wore the same top unwashed.
Fucking
How do you
joking me.
how do you like that? You know me, I love a wee personal challenge. And that was it. So there you go. Fusty.
Wait a minute, 31 days, same tap.
31 days, same top. I put it down at the side every night and every morning. I picked it up and put it on. And yes, when you run, when you get a wee bit of heat going, you release yesterday's odours
What
for
did you do?
31 days.
Fucking
For
hell.
no reason in the world apart from I thought about
Jesus, I'd be absolutely beeling.
it. Beeling, Fusty and Poof Gads was rotten.
Oh man. Anyway, let's get away from John's 31-day run streak top. And could you sign that and we could auction it off? Oh man, Doogie Porteous is legended.
Oh,
Legended.
legend.
As in just been legended as that bugger stole my local legend status.
Ah, I get it. Yeah, I get that.
The
Yeah.
art of losing your local legend status on Strava.
I like that. I like that. Steph McCann. She simply went for something that describes a foodstuff, a slice or a rolling slice, and it's a rolling lawn or square sausage. Yeah. Thank you very much. Some people might be saying, what's lawn sausage? What's square sausage? They're used to link. Maybe they're used to link sausage. But a rolling slice, square sausage.
That's a Glasgow thing, eh?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
What do you call it?
I would call it square sausage.
I'd go Lorne sausage.
Aye, shows you diet. It's just different dialect, eh?
That's the difference between North Newton and Latham.
100%.
You could almost throw a stain for them.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one has actually been a dialect dictionary word on the show. I
Okay.
remember it. It was Iona Mackay, who
Okay.
was a previous guest of the show. She, way back, that Iona was on, and the word was bringe.
Oh, you bringe right in.
Aye. And so Alison Downey it is who's put it in. He bringed through the crowd, got to the front of the race. She overheard a bit of conversation and bringed right in. A couple of uses of it.
Very good. Very good
So
context
you're
as well.
hearing something there, and I'm just going to bringe right into that conversation. So then you're interjecting, or you could like bringe to the front row of a race.
Yeah.
Or you could actually just bringe round the inch.
I encourage folk to bringe. I'm all for a bringe.
Yeah.
Craig Stokes, another smell related word. Beeling. The shoe cupboard is beeling because of your trainers. You say that.
The shoe cupboard is beeling because you left your 31 day yazed shirt in there. You manky bastard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dave Hutchison, choking.
Oh, choking for a pint.
Choking. Well, choking for a pint, choking for some scran. Dave, give us an example. You sort of it. It's a verb meaning to be desperate for something. I.e., when I rang the fling, I was choking for a shite by the time I reached Riverdale. So yes, we can relate. I'm sure, and hopefully you had your shit tickets. Or is there a public toilet at Riverdale? And perhaps
there is, I think.
so
I think
you could nip it. You could nip it until you got to Riverdale if you were choking for a shite. So
brilliant.
yes, choking.
Probably one of my favourites so far, the expression. Mark Bromwich, he's been desperate to get this in. Desperate to get this in. An English phrase, really, rather than just one word. That phrase is, it's coming home. Basically means we are dreamers who love to piss off anybody non-English every 2 years, and then we wind it in when it doesn't happen. So maybe 2026 will be your year, Mark.
I like the wee bit of humbleness that's come into Mark's submission this year, because there's been a few times that he's had his tongue a wee bit more in his cheek. Bit more humble.
That's because he's wore that Scotland vest at the Backyard Ultra.
It's been infected.
Yes.
Brilliant. Jack Wilson, ACP 2026.
Yeah, it's happening.
Team member. More on that next week. Mint it
Oh, that's a good one.
could mean anything from rich to in great condition.
Mint it.
Something's mint it. You could hear a run that's mint it.
Aye, definitely. Definitely, yeah.
You can hear
Christian,
a person who's mint it.
you could. Aye. Christian Cooksey. What's fresh? This is the greeting of the Isla Lewis. When you meet somebody, you say to them, it's fresh. That could be equivalent of, what's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening? Yeah.
What's new?
Yeah. What's fresh?
What's fresh?
I'm going to try
Well,
and use that. Yeah.
It would be fresh up there most of the time. Steve Bell, clarity. We just spoke about clarity. Geordie, meaning muddy or filthy, used to describe something that is dirty or covered in mud, or indeed that heavy, sticky mud we often plough through on trails.
Clarity.
Or you could be clarity-minded.
You could be.
That's when you've got an obsession with something.
Boza Ritchie, who has been in touch since who has been in touch since last week's UnAwards and said he never realised we were going to read everything out that he said, but I'm going to do it again because his dialect dictionary, it's a good Edinburgh word, Raj, refers to somebody who's wild, aggressive, or acting in a crazy, unpredictable way. Can be used to describe a person. He or she's a total Raj. Or a behaviour. He or she's going pure Raj. Or the whole hog. That Raj over there is going pure Raj. Back in my rugby days, my mate Jamsey went to play for Burrymuir. When we went to watch, they were calling him Jimmy. We thought, fair enough, Jamsey, Jimmy, that's just their way. Eventually, I asked why, and it turns out it was because he was a Raj on the pitch. Proper red mist stuff. So yes, we Jimmy Raj Bam. He's brought Bam in at the end. But Raj, thank you very much, Rob, for your dialect dictionary entry. Raj.
Raj. Yeah, Raj.
There's actually a curry shop in Kinross called the Raj Mahal.
Is there?
Aye.
Have they done that on purpose, though? Or is that just...
R-A-G. Boza Ritchie's is R-A-D-G-E. Raj.
Yeah.
But they've called it Raj Mahal in Kinross. R-A-G. Jai. R-A-J, sorry.
I think that's something else entirely. But
definitely.
If they had called it R-A-D-G-E Mahal, you should open up an Indian in the Western Edge called the Raj Mahal.
But it makes me laugh every time I see it. If I've done the Lochleven half, I go past the Raj Mahal.
Okay. Do you ever pick something up?
No, I'm focused, man. Fully
focused. Of course. Anyway, Raj Begbie.
Yes.
That is your Raj. Martin James, Inverclyde has a few words unused anywhere else in Scotland.
Okay.
Ken, if you dodge school, it's called skidging. So some people might skidge a run because they slept in. Skidge.
Never heard that before in my life.
Playing truant. Skiving in Perth.
Skiving. Dundee, they call it plonking.
Plonking?
Plunking. P-L-U. Plunking. Plunking. Yeah.
So, I've never heard of that, Ian.
There you go. Kevin McKen, when I crossed the finish line at this year's Chile, Stephen said, how was that? And I said, that was a pluter. It was good fun though, and it was a bit of a mud fest. So a pluter, I'm taking it as being challenging, but great fun. Yeah.
Aye. Plutered it. He plutered it.
He plutered it.
I do recall him saying that, and I didn't exactly go, I didn't know what that word meant, although I'd never heard it before. It was delivered in such a way that I knew what he meant.
Yep.
John Spears Bowfin.
A lot of smelly ones.
I ate beans and sausages at the West Highland Way, but my mouth was that dry they were bowfin. Okay, so we like a bit of context and use of that word. So we can get on board with bowfin for lots of other things,
Most definitely.
like John's shirt.
Eleanor Proctor, good luck in the spine this weekend. Eleanor, she's
Why?
taking that on. So, I'm Danny. It's kind of the Welsh equivalent of let's fucking do this. I'm Danny. Never heard that before.
I know, it's just a mechanic place in Perth. I'm
So
Danny.
it is. So, Eleanor, you going, I'm Danny, that spine this weekend.
Brilliant. And John McCluskey's is mangled or cunted. Normally a one-word reply to how you're feeling after a run.
Ah, well, mango. Stephen Burrow, Glaket. And most of the photos that Fishy Gordon takes, I'm looking pure Glaket. So that's brilliant context as well. Gordon must have a right laugh at some of the photographs that he takes. But thank you again, Gordon, for going out there and giving away these photographs for free. Much appreciated.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Graham Johnston's is Shan. S-H-A-N.
Shan.
Yeah, as in no man. That's pure Shan, that is. Seemed to be a Central Belt Edinburgh school thing. Generally meant you'd overstepped the mark and crossed an unspoken boundary when trying to take good-heartedly piss out of a mate. It's like,
you
that's
went too far.
That's
You went
too far. Yeah,
Aye.
that's pure Shan, that is.
Pure Shan. I like that.
Aye.
Rolls off the tongue. Pure Shan, man. Gillian McGill, a gazinti. So somebody says, what's that? And you reply, it's a gazinti. Anything that goes into something, it goes into a gazinti. I like that.
A
Gazinti.
digestive into a cubby.
Or a sausage into a roll.
Or
Gazinti.
a sausage, a slice into a roll.
Yes. Yes.
Brilliant. By the end of this, we need to come up with a whole paragraph just using only dialect words. So I'll let you start on that one, John.
Thanks, man.
Mel Sykes, it's a popular word in today's episode, and it is cunt. Yeah. However, the context is, oh no, I just can't do it. It's the way that it's delivered in a Yorkshire brogue.
Yes.
It's no cunt at all, it's can't.
Can't. Can't.
But it's spelt with a U.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I just can't do it.
But this is the whole thing about dialect, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole thing about dialect. So that gets us out a hole for all the things that we've said before.
Gets into a hole.
goes into a hole, yeah. Well done. Caroline Duffin, Kikiwaka. So, when in the Lake District, we were listening to Let's Have a Kiki by the Sizzle Sisters. The dogs needed a walk. So I said Kiki Walkers instead of walkies. And it stuck. So now I say to my dogs, Kikis or Kiki Walkies, and they know they're going for a walk. So she's trained their ducks. Kiki Waka.
Sometimes it's almost no a dialect dictionary. It's that family
Yes.
word or words, that are just they're born within the family home or the family unit, and you say them to anybody else, and they're just like, what? But you say them to your own family, and nobody's like, I can exactly what you mean. Yep, we've all got them. Kiki Waka. Johnny Logan, Choggle, Choogle, a robbed word from Creedence Clearwater Revival song and adapted it to running. It means to run given no fucks whatsoever. Example, it's good to choggle or go choggling with my pals.
I love that. I'm a big fan of Creedence Clearwater Revival. I'd never heard that. I hate to go and investigate that one. Rich Taylor, touching cloth.
Ah, touching cloot.
The sensation of when a wilder poo is about to erupt. Thank you, Rich, for that context. That would actually be something that may benefit you in the Tortuga 10K that we've spoken about before as well. Touching cloth.
The Turtle's Head 10K.
Turtle's Head. Yep, that was the one.
Wow. Okay. Touching cloth. Next one we've used actually a few times during the duration of UnAwards, and it's shite bag if you don't. It's from Stevie McKenna. Thank you, Stevie.
Yeah.
This is a phrase that has led to many a Scottish person ending up way over their head.
Because it's the ultimate, certainly from a Scottish point of view, it's the ultimate dare, isn't it? And you can't really back down for it if somebody says that to you.
No.
You know, or if you do, you're a shite bag. So
Exactly. So you're just sometimes you just accept being a shite bag and just say, "Aye, I'm a shite bag."
but
Just to
then
get out of it.
but then the same as the Strava thing, folk never let you forget that
No.
you were a shite bag that time
No,
when you were
no.
14-year old.
And sometimes it's one of those ones where you're having a WhatsApp conversation 3 years later and the reply to a comment 3 years ago.
Aye. Here's that screenshot I took, and I've saved until this very moment.
We've been waiting on this. So yeah, shite bag if you didn't.
Nicky Sheridan, Stravaig,
Hmm.
Stravaig, to
Oh,
wander
well.
aimlessly. Nicky, this is her context, Nicky was stravaiging on her training run. So she's wandered aimlessly on her training run to Stravaig. Thank you very much, Nicky.
Yeah, that's a word I hear used in the hills. You know, just breeze along.
Stravaig. I'm sure it's a name of a song by Blue Rose Code, which I must go and check what that's about.
It is.
To
It
wander
will be.
aimlessly. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Alan Murray is Abdi or Obdi,
That's a
as in
belter.
Obdi. Oh, everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
A good Fife word for everybody.
Yeah, and there's wee twists on that, isn't it? You'll hear folks saying Abadi, but Obdi. Yeah, we get that. We get that. Gaz Runny McRunface. Quitch. CWTCH. Quitch is Welsh for a cuddle or love. Give us a quitch. It's like give us a bosey.
Give
The
us a
Aberdeen, eh?
bosey. Yes.
Huh? You
A
know?
quitch.
A quitch. Yeah.
Can we
He's a
get a
quitch.
can we get a pronunciation check on that, please, Gaz?
Good, okay. So,
Gordon Brown has a Gideon courtesy of his late gran, who was from Hexham and used to make him tatty ludulums as a kid. Basically, thin down stovies with tatties not fully broken down. No idea if this was a genie special or a well-known dish in the northeast, but it was bloody brilliant. Mon in for a big bowl of tatty ludulums.
Natty Ludums. I love that, man. I love that. Charlie King. Get a wriggle on, son. Pretend the police are chasing you. So get a wriggle on. Speed up. Crack on. Get it done. Get a wriggle on. Okay.
Must have been saying that when he was going round the inch the other week.
See that? Was it Scoobs, the boy's name? Get a
Colin for
wriggle on.
Stirling. PAP. PAP. A tip alternative.
I think Colin for Stirling's had a bit of fun with this film this for.
Context. See him over there. He's a right pap. Thanks, Colin.
Nick Jones. Iwan. DA space IAWN. Iwan. Well done in Welsh. Yeah,
A couple of Welsh entries.
yeah, I like it. I
Me
like it.
too. Claire Withers is keep her fucking lit.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I've-
buy ya. We just keep her fucking lit. Keep her fucking lit. You buy ya.
I've heard her keep her lit. Let's keep it going. You know, I've did that. Brilliant.
Always nice hearing it or shouting it on a run.
Yeah, keep it lit. Yeah, bye. Yeah. Bob Barron. Now, how do you pronounce this second word? Loons and is it quines or kines? Quines. Loons and quines. It's an Aberdeen thing, isn't it? Or a northeast. Boys and girls.
It's neither of the two.
Aye. You get some strange looks when mentioning loons south of Stonehaven.
Partly for Forfa, where they're all loons.
Aye. They are the loons.
Exactly.
They are the loons. Yeah. Okay.
Howard Wharton. Now, I'm going to say this in and just assume that it's all fine because I didn't know the context, but his mum as a child used to shout to him to get him in. when he'd been out playing, I think. Get yourself washed. You're as black as a Nugget's knocker.
So you're clorty.
You're clarty, you're clarty.
Aye.
But I don't know what a Nugget's knocker is.
Need some research. Maybe we'll come back on that.
Oh,
We'll come back.
let me go and just Google it now and make sure that
Well, a knocker I would think is a knocker on a door.
that's what I'm thinking.
No, so
Um,
okay. Oh.
go for it.
Right, Paul Anderson, pecking, out of breath.
Hmm.
That's a good Scots word. I think, I'm assuming it's Scots. Maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's more than that. Okay, how you getting on with that knocker?
Hell, I think we're all right. It could
Okay.
be that it's associated with the infamous Newgate prison in London and refers to a few different things. A historical door knocker being one of them. So it
Oh.
could be a knocker on a prison door.
We'll go with that.
Let's go with that. Newgate's in its Newgate prison. Maybe that is utter ChatGPT pash.
Karen Much, on her training run, I ran from Fockerburst to Cullen. A couple stopped me in Cullen as he'd seen me in a few places. He asked how far I ran, and I replied 20 miles, and he said, "Fit? Foo far?" Which translates to what? How far? Fit? Foo far?
Fit foofar.
Brilliant.
Oh,
Okay.
is that everything? Or Kenny McManus did have a one in, but I don't think we should go there because it doesn't get us into this.
No, you're quite right. You're quite right. I think
We'll keep that into ourselves. Ask us and or our own. When you meet us next time, ask what Kenny McManus's dialect dictionary word was.
Good try, Kenny. Good
Tisney.
The tunes for the playlist. We're going to make the playlist up, aren't we?
We're going to make the playlist a banging playlist on Spotify with all your submissions on it.
Yeah.
And we'll
Yeah,
put
yeah.
it out. Well, we'll put it out and a link to it on the episode this week as well, because there's some belters on there, and yeah, you can go away and give that a wee listen. I'm always looking for a new playlist, something that's just a wee bit of different vibe, different genres.
Might open a wee door for some people to try some different things. Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll do that ahead of the episode being published.
Right. We've come to the crescendo moment. It's the 2025 Good Cunt of the Year category. I love this one. So will we just go for the top then?
Let's just do it.
Yeah, yeah. So do you want to go with first then?
Well, Lee Campbell's just everybody's a good cunt.
Yeah, cool.
Right.
I love that. Okay. Mark Gallagher, Ian Crawford of Cambuslang Harriers for all the personal coaching help he has given me for free when every man and his dug is charging for it. This year, under his guidance, I have run 6 sub-17 5Ks, won 3 Scottish titles, and had other podiums. Ian Crawford is a good cunt.
As is Andy Denali's mate Ian. He has believed in me when even Andy himself didn't. Great for a post-run break or two. Ian, you're a good cunt.
Aye. Dougie Porteous, David Mowat for smashing out LeJog when, with the greatest respect, he had no right to, and he raised £20,000 for charity doing so. David Mowat is a good cunt.
Alison Downey nominates Johnny Fling for putting on such great events and always appearing to be so relentlessly cheerful. Johnny, as we know, you are a good lad.
Yes. Dave Hutchison. There's too many. Both of you. Thank you very much, David, for saying that about Steve and I. Nikki for getting the vid of Ava and I at the fling. Lee Campbell for his amazing Pentland runs. It was also great to chat more to Kev Craig, Stevie McKenna, and Bozza Ritchie. This is like a bloody Oscar speech that Dave's coming with. The world's full of good cunts. Thank you very much, Dave.
It's brilliant. And then Jack Wilson got to be a joint entry with two of our best friends, two former guests on the Young Hearts Run Free podcast. Legends Joe Wilson and Martin Butcher, who share and encourage amazing running adventures that Jack has. Both are a massive inspiration to her. So another two that we already know are good cunts. But there you go, it's reaffirmed.
And another previous guest getting a shout out, Sarah Perry, is a good cunt, according to Steve Bell. Obviously, Backyard Ultra world records, say no more. So Sarah Perry's a good cunt.
As is Chris Sutherland of Woman Photography. Martin James wants to nominate him as a good cunt. Part of the Run Rahal group, good guy, and uses his own time to take amazing pictures.
He certainly does. He certainly does. And staying in that neck of the woods for Bobby Burt, Laura McConnell, she is one of the Run Rahal elite, absolutely humble to the core, the mum of the Run Rahal group. And this year ventured into her own first ultra at the nocturnal John Muir Way 6 hour and only went and got a second place. Oh, aye. And Dave Shaw, too. You know why? The guy has lit a fire under the running community around us. And also Martin James, because he beat some lassie in a dress carrying a microphone running across a bridge. They're all good cunts, didn't they?
John Spears wants to nominate his best mate Sean for running the last 35 miles of the West Highland Way with him and tolerating his tantrum when our head torches ran out.
Oh, man.
John, you're a good cunt.
You're a good cunt. Jennifer Wetton wants to vote for her husband Mark for always supporting her, especially at the Manchester Marathon this year, where he popped up all over the course to cheer her on and ran a mile to meet her at the finish, despite having chipped an ankle bone at rugby a couple of weeks earlier. And Jennifer calls him, as well as being a good cunt, he is her hero. So well done to Mark.
Yeah. And big up all the other halves who spend their time supporting us in our endeavours and adventures. John McCluskey, well, he wants to vote for both you and I, John, but particularly you. Fucking kiss ass. So let's move on for that. No, 90 minutes of joy every week keeps you going when you're in the car or out in the streets. You both need a better football team, though.
Well,
yeah,
Graham Johnston. Graham Johnston. Good cunts plural. Steve Timoney, and help me with this name, Kevin
Duplessis,
for going above and beyond in their crewing duties for me on the West Highland Way race. Spoke a bit about that in last week's episode. They honestly deserve a Victoria Cross each for valour. In the field, there was a lot of spewing going on that day. So well done to Steve and to Kevin.
Mel Sykes wants to nominate Rachel McPherson for listening to her life rants.
Oh, okay, we'll leave that in there. Stevie McKenna has voted for Lee Campbell, aka Mr. Pentlands. This year, Lee began organising quarterly social runs in the Pentlands, sharing his knowledge and his favourite trails around them. For some people, it was their first venture onto trails. For others, like myself, it was their first venture to the Pentlands and watching his adventures from afar. It's brought many people together who followed each other online but hadn't had the chance to get together. Random usernames on social media and Strava became real faces and friends over the year. He gave people the confidence to go back in their own wee groups and explore their own wee runs. For Lee to take the time to arrange these runs and keep everybody safe on them, to me, that is a definition of a good cunt. I would wholeheartedly agree with that, Stevie. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Alan Murray, any runner who gives up their spare time for free to support the local running club or volunteer at races is a good cunt. Simple as that. The sport runs on these people. They are the backbone of clubs and running communities everywhere. The ones who coach, lead sessions, marshal races, help at events, sit in committees, handle admin, support runners, guide beginners, look after welfare, build communities, and proudly represent their clubs. There are loads of good cunts out there, and running wouldn't exist without them. We know exactly the type of people that you're referring to, Alan. The hidden heroes.
Definitely. And again, it's a chance to make sure you say thank you to these people, and be kind to them as well. So Gordon Brown, the one and only Bobby Burt, Bob drove over to Bishopton to pick up myself and Martin James to take us to the start of the fling. He's greatly appreciated and further proof that the man is a legend. We know that well, the boot flaming Bobby Burt. He is a good cunt.
We certainly do. And next it's Colin for Stirling, and he wants to nominate Coach Fiona, aka Mrs. Watt, and he's just put, "Tell me I'm wrong." So, Colin, you are 100% bang on correct.
Well done. Claire Withers, following up with her normal vocabulary and her dialect, she's simply put, use cunts, legends. Thank you very much, Claire.
Use cunts. Howard Wharton also wants to put a joint award in for both you gents, still keeping us entertained all these years later. Huge kudos and thanks. Thank you, Howard.
Very much. Thank you. Howard's been here for the start. For the very start, Howard's been here. How is Karen Much's off onto me? Have you rigged up this spreadsheet somehow?
Yep.
Every one of the folk that I've met and helped me out this year, Karen has said that she said herself that last year, 2024, and the start of 25 was kind of tough for her running wise through injury. So she's saying, what Karen's saying is every single person that she's met and helped her this year, she wants to say that they are a good cunt. So thank you very much, Karen. And it's wonderful to see you back out there doing your thing.
Absolutely terrific. Thanks, Karen. Kenny McManus wants to nominate Davy Gow for setting up a running community without people paying for it, called Ascension Running. 3 sessions, group runs, full bang. Well done, Davy.
Well done. Fiona Ainsley, Johnny Logan for joining and encouraging me on challenges throughout the year. The random patter is best, making long miles into smiles, accepting the silence when I feel like dying. A wee word about Johnny and Fiona, actually. We know that they've been competition winners as well, but they go that extra mile for each other as running pals, and that's a massive part of what the running community is all about. So massive thank. They're both good cunts, Johnny and Fiona.
Oh, 100%, 100%. As is our next person who's nominating, Bob Barn. But he wants to nominate John Robb for Good Cunt of the Year. A well-deserved Triple Crown, well-earned graft, effort, and so supportive to everyone as well. So, John Robb, Good Cunt. I know that. Now you do too.
Well done. Nick Jones is saying, still and always will be Digger Jones. He is the husband of the century, probably. Digger Jones.
Probably.
Digger Jones, you're a good cunt.
Yes, and a half. And the next one, Charlie King, it's another aim for John Robb. All-round great lad, very supportive of myself from afar, and an incredible year he's had personally. So there you go. JR on fire.
Definitely,
all over the shop.
It just shows you, though, JR's probably had certainly the most, certainly from ultramarathon distances, the best year of his running career so far. But he's also taken time out to go and give other folk messages and support them as well. So I love that. Well done, JR. And we never knew that. Well, I never knew that until now, so it's brilliant. Rachel Bissett is saying, Carol Nicol at the Highlander, she was the biggest cheerleader and encouraged so many people to do more. We all know that Karen Nicol is a good cunt.
Why?
Yeah.
As is Mike Raffin, who Nikki Sheridan wants to nominate. Mike, previous guest, friend of the show. He puts up with Nikki's nonsense and daft questions on the Run Till You're Done podcast, as well as being a good pal this year. Thanks, Mike. You're a good cunt.
Well done. Another shout out to Johnny Fling and the others who organised that event from Rich Taylor. Generous, invested in runners, and just the tonic that the sports needs. Thank you very much, Rick. Johnny Fling is a good cunt.
Years and a half. Caroline Duffin wants to nominate JC and Stevie Boy for doing the podcast. Thank you very much, Caroline. We're glad you're still hanging about here and enjoying us ever on.
Yes. Let's follow on with that theme. Tony McGill. I would say the two of you for bringing some absolute belting shows to our lugs over the year. Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you.
And Gillian, well, hers is for Tony. She wants to nominate Tony McGill for every mile he drove round on the Pennine Way recce's, for finding places to stay in the back of Beyond on the Pennine Way. I might have ran the race, but without him, I wouldn't have wrecked 211 miles of the route. As JC has said before, everyone needs a Tony.
Most definitely. Brilliant. Stevie Burrow, you pair, he says. When I've needed a bit of escapism, I've jumped into the back catalogue and went from there. There's a healthy back catalogue now. And to everybody who's come along to the Saturday Breakfast Club, either local or on our wee tours, every one of them is a legend. Saturday morning's not the same without it or without them. So well done to the Saturday Breakfast Club.
I'm going to try and make my debut at Saturday Breakfast Club. This is too good to miss.
Shite bag if you didn't.
That's all right. I'll be up for that. No sweat. Linnaeus Proctor, Wild Heart Runners, Debs and Kaz for bringing so many awesome people together with their social events and being the biggest cheerleaders.
Brilliant. Kevin McKen, Jake Day. Everybody needs a running buddy like Jake, and we push each other on with training, and there is no way I could have managed a lap this year without Jake encouraging me all the way. Jake has had a stellar year with sharing the podium with a certain Meryl Cooper at the, I say Benaki, some folks say Benahi, trail race being one of her highlights. Jake has indeed had a belter, and Jake is a good cunt.
She isn't half. Bozza Ritchie. For him, it's Chris Evans, one of the organisers of the EH3 Milers and co-running it since 2021. He'd met him briefly on a Pilgrim Way recce back in May, and he introduced himself, and somehow he already knew me. Probably because you were called Bozza. Since then, I've seen how much he does for the group, organising runs, events, in addition to the Wednesday night social and beer runs, attending Thursday hills and trails and Sunday coffee runs. A positive influence, makes himself known, and always takes time to speak to everyone. A top lad, or rather, just a good cunt. Well done, Chris.
Matt Bromwich, Karen Nichol for me. What she has set up with Wild Heart Runners and the confidence she gave me to chase a goal and achieve it can't be eaten ever in my running life. I've told her before I could do things, but she made me believe I could, and I did. Well done, Mark, and well done to Karen.
Well done both, and it's been a big year for Mark in terms of his mindset. Can tell he's in a right positive
Definitely.
flow. Christian Cooksey wants to nominate yourself, JC. I don't know many people who do what I do, so John always is there to reply to questions, no matter how daft, and checks how you got on. He's a good cunt. I know that. We know that. It's reaffirmed. It's a bit of a dick sometimes as well.
She smelly running tops, you know. Angela Steed, Lynn Smith, for always inspiring us party at the back girls. She completed her first 100-miler this year. A running legend and the loveliest person. Lynn Smith is a good cunt.
And the next thing's for Craig Stokes, and it's another shout out for JC and Stevie Boy. Another year of bringing the running community together and putting a smile on our faces on trails, treadmills, and streets. Thank you very much, Craig.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you. Curly Steph McCann, Stevie McKenna for his Triple Crown achievement, also for always supporting the running community. Personally, for the pep talk at the start to being there at the end of the Run the Blaze 50k, cheering me to the finish and making sure I was okay afterwards. That is what it's all about. Well done, Stevie McKenna. You are a good cunt.
Another shout out for Lynn Smith, for Peter. She's the absolute best friend, always knows the right thing to say, makes you feel you can conquer the world. She is one strong, determined, resilient, beautiful, kind-hearted woman.
What a statement that is, eh?
Oh, that's brilliant.
There's a lot in there. Rachel McPherson, Tony McGill, enough said.
Catherine Cowie, Tony McGill, for all the reasons.
And we know that Catherine was doing the spine as well, and Catherine and Gillian, when they were on the episode together, they spoke about the recce's that they'd done, and Tony had done all the driving and all the organising. Brilliant. Tam Gray, JC and Stevie Boy for the hours of effort to put in to entertain the running community. Hats off to you, lads. That's it, Stephen.
That's it. We've went through all the Good Cunt of the Year nominations, and do we have a Good Cunt of the Year, John?
Have you been forced to pick one? Because there's hundreds of good
I
cunts.
didn't. I like to think this category is just a good chance for you to big up or say be really positive about somebody or a few people or a group even who have had a really good positive influence on your own experiences, whether that's from afar, whether that's by your side, whatever. Just a good chance. So I mean, for me, no. If I was forced, I do want to pick somebody.
Okay, well I'm not at the forcing. I'm not at that. But I think what it proves is that a lot of people are very well appreciated by whether it's a partner, whether it's a friend, like a running partner, or whether it's groups and communities. I love that party at the back thing. That thing that's happened there. They were along at the Chili, had an absolutely brilliant time doing that. It's no about being up the front, getting on that podium. Fair play to the people that do it. They work hard and they get there. But there's a lot of fun to be had, and I love that sort of stuff. And there's lots of names that we know, and it's very kind that people have even considered us to be part of that group as well. So very, very much appreciated. We're in a good place as a running community. We're surrounded by good cunt Stevie Boy.
We are. We're very, very lucky, and it's yeah, it's always just kind of life affirming to hear all that stuff. I always think the years that we've been doing this,
Yeah.
and there's regular names pop up all the time, and there's new names come in. Somebody who's just maybe just had like, don't know who was saying just that wee chat at the start of Run the Blades. Be a big deal for somebody, and that's just
Yeah.
a wee message for everybody to say. Remember, try and be as good a cunt as you can.
And I think for people who've been nominated in that category, keep doing what you're doing. You know, these people don't really think they're doing anything special. It's just what they do and who they are. But keep doing what you're doing. Now, we need a play out song, Stevie Boy,
We do.
for this episode.
Well, I think it should be one that's on the nominated songs on this from our listeners. So,
Well, do you want to have a wee scan through? I will leave it to you to pick one if you're happy to do that. And
okay,
I can just say a
yeah,
massive thank you to every single person who has taken the time to fill in the form for the UnAwards for 2025. We had 50 plus entries that came in, and they've given us a right laugh. We've had the feedback for last week that part one gave a lot of folk a good laugh. It filled some time on their training run when they're out there doing their thing at the weekends or whenever it is that you go and do it. So thank you all so very much for doing that. We're going to be getting right back in about it for 2026 very, very soon. But for now, the UnAwards 2025 is complete, Stevie Boy. Where are we going to go with music?
it sure is. And just to finish us off, we've got Tam Gray's nomination song playlist choice of Take My Hand from Scary Vor.
Belter.